Another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. I'm Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's director of Simulcasting. And we're taking a look at the feature race on the Thursday card, plus the late pick four. And the features an allowance race on the turf at a distance of a mile. And I did not have a strong opinion here. Had trouble narrowing it down. I finally, for the website, had to make a pick. So I went with, I think, the Tom Amoss horse, Hot Tempo, filly that the filly that just beat her up at Indiana Downs came back and they tried her in the Raven Run, a graded stake last weekend. So obviously they had a high opinion of that horse, and Hot Tempo just narrowly lost. And Amos's go-to riders, Leandro Gonzalez, and that's who picks up the mount here. So I'm going to take a shot with Hot Tempo, and then I'm going to key her with 5 different horses in exactas, the 3, the 6, the 10, the 11, and the 13. So as you can tell, it's a spread race for me. What about you?
Well, on the Wednesday podcast, I did not take Ramsey horse, but I went back and watched the race at Kentucky Downs, and Sassy Kitten, the 10 horse, was very impressive in that race at Kentucky Downs on September 14th. And if you look at the running lines, it says angled out full of run, and I watched it back, and she really was. And I think she may be a really nice filly for Ramsey, just like he needs another one. So she's my pick here. I'm going to take Patinka, Vintage Strike, Bluegrass Sapphire, and the horse that you mentioned, Hot Tempo, below her. But I'm going to key the Sassy Kitten on top. I'm going to go a little bit deeper in the pick 4 in a few minutes. But I like Patinka. I like that maiden win at Delaware for Graham Motion, and Graham Motion's always live here at Keeneland. So take Sassy Kitten and Patinka as my second choice, but I'm going to spread below her in the trifecta.
Patinka and Sassy Kitten were the 2 others that I was considering as well. So we're kind of in the same area there. Let's take a look at the late pick 4, and it starts in race 6. And stakes caliber kind of a group here in this turf allowance race. Where did you go?
Yeah, this is not the feature race. We just handicapped the feature, but this one is actually, I think, maybe a tougher race. I'm going to single Rahi Strada. They scratched him out over the weekend because of the surface surface change, and I think probably he is the class here. And I'm going to make a real easy pick 4. I'm going to single Rahi Strada. I'm going to take as many as I can afford in the 7th and the 8th, and I'm going to single the 10 horse Professor Midnight in the last race of the day. I'm going to say that Rusty Arnold keeps his streak alive. It's taken him a long time because he's 0 for 22 this meet, but he's got a streak going back to the 80s of having won at least one race in every meet at Keeneland, and I think Professor Midnight is a standout in the last race. So I'm going to go Rahi Strada, and I've got all the outside horses in the second race, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, with the 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 in the 8th race, but I might even go 6 with 10 just to cover everything.
I was between Airport and Utley. I ended up tossing Rahi Strada, and I may live to regret that, but I'm going to I ended up settling on Air Support. Just he loves Keeneland, and he's had 6 works since starting at September 18th for Shug McGahee. So even though he's been off a while, fitness shouldn't be a problem. Utley ran really well here back in the spring, has had several layoff lines, but I like the fact that he's running back relatively quickly and suggests that he's still in good form. So it was between those 2 for me. So I'd certainly use both of those, the motion horse, the 7, and also the 4 I liked. But for the pick 4, I'm going to leave out the 4. I'm going to include the motion horse. So I'll take the 8, the 5, and the 7. Second leg, I'm using 4 horses. Roberto Gatto's the one I picked for Lucas on a class drop out of those races at Saratoga where he faced a lot of stakes caliber types and chased a really wicked pace the last time, and maybe we'll benefit from that. Also use the 10, 11, 12 there on the outside. I'm going to use 6 horses in the feature. The 6, 7 Hot Tempo plus the 3, 6, 10, 11, 13. And then like you, Professor Midnight looks like a standout to me on the class drop. And the best buyer of its life came on the first time on Poly last time. So Professor Midnight, the only thing I didn't like was the 10 post, but I think this one can overcome that. So I'm going 3 by 4 by 6 by 1 for my late pick 4. So that's what it looks like on Thursday. We'll be back to handicap the Friday card. Of course, Saturday we'll take a look at the Keeneland feature plus some other stakes races around the country. I have a couple of graded stakes races up at Belmont on Saturday. And then we're just over a week away from Breeders' Cup weekend. So best of luck on your Thursday wagers. at the track or at KeenelandSelect.com.